and you see say how na see how man na ye and brothers na wo kan no say no na say ye che say wo ntino
Ghana map wo mu tikan sa
Ghana map no
mu twadi
twam nti it's a very interesting to say bra me fa we na Ghana for so afa de aka no
Ghana bo fa de omo pa de fake pad omo pa de ade botimi ko gina na hack ka sankra fo hia digitization
da bia mu hia do
maku
ene nchina
se we put them komane doso se wo interview back wo ne wo konle sa ba
ko me yen maye ntu de ko uwia me saka na maye
me nya ne kitua bi wo se wo yi for so ha kwaku ni nyina ne se President Mahama say afi no wati afi no waji atum eno ye ho den e President Mahama ekeye wo se ye ne yankofo ye NDC fo ya me mahu so mo eye galamse no we ni di ma se ye nchi wo mo mati biza
never
ana me no ka say ya chi wo mo more than 6 months ago enna Attorney General ka say Abanga ya wo ye NDC deputy vice chairman national wasi wo ye galamsi ye nche no yukufu anche no
so Ibrahim Mahama nipa ewo vacuum so vacuum fon so almost refine aluminium ni bi mi wa nti no you see how there send a minority no e ka no almost say all the sectors organ ha say ya mining ni nyina no in fact we kwa ni nipa ye hu na what it means they say baby kura woman ye hu ye enti almost we state capture pro max eno na abasu Fred Aswene godon bra na fe yinwura ensem no mu na emfa emunchire mu emfa mra enti no nyankopon adom a yenim se chema wontumi onwu nyambe na adom obeka na koma ama bibia aye kama anya da chema wontumi bewu na obetena se na MPP nso beba ban mu na MPP ba ban mu a bibia contract bia na bibia na bia no ye ba hwehwem na afi de anya safi ese afi enye tse afi twemu no da bi afi anya safi twemu kura because yesi kokura man fere so obesi ohini so a on fere so de asawa betare so nti se eto ene NDC ade omo ye chema wontumi you can clearly see say the state ena ashada bonu tirimu pose kwan bia so no ye ne chema wontumi ebedi odifo odibimu ye ne bedi afen na Ura Mahama ebe ka che Ghana for say NDC for to galamse ni bi yenim you don't have to tell us yenim send this for to be because sabe kwasia onu hwekura no dokoro asehye onum sa aben kwasia onum hwekura no dokoro asehye a onum sa aben enti yenim hwekura no Attorney General Dominic Ayeni ababe boya man yese NDC National Vice Chairman any NDC National Organizer omutu galamse yenim kura yenim se our win na nanom atwa our win for asu yenim say ye twa our win MP no ye twa na su because ohe galam say enja afa na mampani Mahama wada nyane afa na nsu atwate ama wahunu say NDC for ye galam say na NDC National Organizer etimi galam say National Vice Chairman etimi galam say MP etimi galam say Regional Executives constituency for ministers etimi galam say ba omo de yente wo mo na wi a abebo chairman untumi kwadu me say ebre bi beba Ghana ha say ya Ghana be de midi ye kwaku dawru we a movement in the morning dasebre dawro dasebre dawro ade komodo wana
madidi say buy my plantain chicken
na plantain say e komodo waka men ko pe ayi ma men ko hunu gari bi ma
no be do gari di ade
no ko hunu gari ma
gari di ade
na de gari na ka pe de na edi
gari kura ayi di bre mi kura fo sha di bre mi kura se mi ntimi
na ka pe de na edi goro ma chi
ye na menua
na bua boko de
nyame adom ahoden ewo ho
ere nyankopon ase
ahoden ho
ere nyankopon ase ntino yaba jujamu so aba
yaba ni de yaba
enti moma yinkom na fe yinwura ase ni
ebeda nyame ase se na adumara kwa me no penso yetumi abeduru ha ya hwefo ni yetifo nyina the battle is still the loss so everything is possible nti nyame nti ebeyi uni aba vex me kan kire me so chia ma no pe me bo frame Victoria Donko of US
Ejine so pa
ensema wa kan nyina ne tintini ne teti ya de me famua ne ansemu a minority na kan de ona ba pretum elidi o mo kan ye se de and your family and friends you we your brothers simple se de abano
brothers
brothers
nso ye ekuo bi anom to nyumo
se say kwa brothers they say Ibrahim Mahama o na ebu man no fa na jo Mahama nso bu fa because
and the lance minister na
minister
lance and natural resources
minister
oh I see
and you know say ye minerals ndi ye o ne control Ibrahim Mahama ne control because the dia bobo ye nyina dia dance ye say mining sector ne de yo Mahama are really dia mani nua be ma Ibrahim Mahama enti bibia fa gudie hu de che Mahama Ibrahim ka se we mempe ka so penko ade ane o di ni san de kwen be fa so ade afiri wonsem dia ma Ibrahim Mahama de be dia ma no anu na ekoso enti ye boro jo Mahama no a wesa se woni de ontimi nwie scan mi ehunu nka enti o ma ni nua Ibrahim awiama no ene woni atwa no ho ahia no awiama no same jamfimo randi abimo ena jo Mahama do masisi ho ene ba ko o GMPC ni woni okeka ho se o mu nwie scan ma no no ko ahomgie ma wakodi and o mu nsu de o mu wi ankasa pa akwa mo fa so wi scan de e yon presidented enu be bia ha NDC gold am ko tun am so ma boka 214 million mboa ambo kaka prebia Ghana for ene ne makoten gold aboka sikaro mu de akosie no makoche o ma de edi because Ghana mo kasi aboka obi enka hwe enti akoton gold aboka eno anu ne yawie jo Mahama ne NDC ponton gold bi amoka omboa yeti ho yesi akoton ya gold ya Ghana won yakoton 18 ha ne o man tram obi a gold na wo mo ho wo mu se gold no bo be yedin ana mo se sa no mo kogu ba bi na akire mo sa beton amaye na mo de abaji ekonko akire konko na enya hwe chema wuntumi onyame bedi na sema ma no se wo ye Ghana ni a wo ye nokwafo na wusuro nyame a won kasa ntia chema wuntumi na wunya adwo Mahama ni NDC fo wo ye Ghana ni a wusuro nyame won kasa ntia chema wuntumi na wunya adwo Mahama ani NDC fo because chiamwache chema wuntumi mo so ye galamsi enne jo Mahama baba tu na numu tie se me nkrofo e galamsi endu nkrofo e galamsi ntie nye dey na Manase Azuri akotwere ai president bi twemu a o kasa ne nkrofo e galamsi a no no abe defend wo no mo na ebra na manfo kase MPP for galamsi no na do be defend e chema wuntumi so onye galamsi ene enya president papa ono de watimi akase Nimkrofo ye galamsi no abetwere owi na Erastus Asadonko abe comment an me ye expose fa wuntumi ho na manfo MPP fo o mate agumi so enne nya na Mahama beka bi wonu me yenu ho na ye papa you see me comment ka kire o mesem mo nim na agu aso o man ayi Erastus ebra na MPP wo ho a na so ye expose awo mining sector ho no na se galamsi no why na threaten with life da NDC ba ya wo ko ka
semba do craft friend man no the award good yeah the state of the hwan award for the voter yes the man
so wo ya djuma papa
yes
na no ya NDC fo ba ko kan ba ko wo so wo mu hunu so meku enya wo baka se jo Mahama na obi na no kan se ne nkrofo ye galamse o yes na kufu ado na wo fight galamse na kufu ado se galamse no ene ne be koso ne presidency kura no de beto no afati galamse na jo Mahama na makire kan kire woni etu galamse se moto aba ma me na me ba yi woni a galamse nti ya so magu afiase nyina no masa akoyo madwuma Erastus ane de wonka Manase ane de wonka na enura anajo ana me kinka asade na godon daru after I'm proud to be a member of the MPP I'm very very proud me say uko comment section no a almost by 500 thousand agu ho no wo ma nyemu ni pa by 5 fa no mo kese bia mo which say yes I feel the Ghana maybe Romania abre wo ma hu say NDC ɛyɛ scam John Mahama wɔyɛ common wɔbɛdada nipa ɛna wɔn bɛ kyesɛ John Mahama bi bia oyɛ yɛ bia yɛ nada fenano lansanza exams yi na enura the pathological liar no your friends say you can say pathological liar akwa na otie oyɛ majority leader no
ayaga oguru hwan mase pa
so forcing obi a NDC
oguru hwan mase
na me wakojina the floor of parliament say yanka ne ba bia da say e ba betwa teachers o exams minimum we majority leader ti party ya dey atro na hyaase because Rollins na what party no what dey atro na be hyaase say Ghana for bi anya sika ni bi na ma wia o man sika eni ti oba ya ma asinyafo ni sika fo ye pe ena wodi adwempone ba ye no obedi bone a wo kondo sisa Ghana sika ope na wodi koye ena party na to aso na atro no medi abesinde na ena me ka cha yi sa iraso se chema untumi asema mo kan so wo yi obi a wo kan okure na wo di uhuni na wo ye journalist papa anka wo nka se untumi aye bone because asem no court asem no court no adanse na eba no kire se asase no untumi fema obi a ena omayi mra so kire se ye de obi ko gina court a unless say court be di asem na wie na court aka se odi fo no untumi nyina ba bi nka se odi fo enso wo Rastus wonam na akeka se untumi aye bone enti ye na ko gina court enfa mi ko si hine but ni nyina mu no ebre ene nkrabia na be kire na se no kura na nka John Mahama ni NDC fo agira so di chema untumi court a asem we ana no kura ana Ghana edidi asem enye sentiments a ene ya adwin bi e wo nipa bi ho a anka se nkura to agudadaada because mi hu na asem a wabo nipa kwadu wa obo nipa ni kwadu no uni case bi ya di tia no ntino afedi wa frɛ nipa na wabo om kwadu ya France momra magisika na mmeka bi mame momagisika na munkoka asem no bi ento chema untumi so mame hwɛ yɛti Yesu kogina amrado n'animu no afi wase wo mu a ɛna na pɛ adanse krumufo so mmedi adanse krumu ntia Yesu Kristo wase adanse krumufo bebre baade nso manya bi ania ntia Kristo ebi na ato attorney general ne chema untumi case no o ma ko fa adanse krumufo so mmedi ntia no but o mu di adanse no na obi a oyɛ badwima onimi nyansa bia wo Ghana ha hunu sɛ asem no chema untumi nifo na nyame ti ase.
All right, Eric mpacho mede picture bi amount na obi na send ma Mississippi na a very interesting picture agoromo here and you see say ya o na see ya o man na ye and brothers na wo kan no say no na say ye che say wo ntino
Ghana map wo
no mu tikan sa Ghana map no
mu twadi
twam anti it's a very interesting to say bra mefa we na Ghana for so afa de aka no
Ghana bo fa de omomo pa de
fake pad
omomo pa de ade botimi ko gina na ha ki ka senkra fo hia digitization
da bia mu hia do
meku
ene nchina
se we put them command doso se wo interview back wo ne won kola sa ba
ko me yen ma ye ntu do ko me saka na ma ye
me yen kitua bi wo se wo yi fo so ha aha kwaku ni nyina ne se President Mahama say afi no wati afi no waji atum eno ye ho den edi President Mahama ekeye wo se ye ne yenkofo ye NDC fo ya me mahu so mo eye galamse no we ni ma se ye nchi wo mo mati biza
never
ana me no ka say ya chi wo mo more than 6 months ago na attorney general ka say abanga ya wo ye NDC deputy vice chairman national wasi wo ye galamsi ye nchi no yukufu anchi no wasi NDC national organizer Joseph Yamin wo galamsi yukufu anchi no attorney general ka you wasi o my investigations media publications national security report dina che say sample fu ye galamsi ezi nchi bia etu be jina bontin hypocritically ebeka say ye NDC force ko aposo ye ko fo bi ka ho a enso eti ye fanye den eti ye fa ko te odo river mu anase den ti wo mu okumi nka de kese enura minority press conference and prechum the eso mu ka eno maka no se Ghana na e wo ho no national health insurance a president for the buy no President Mahama akotisika no so e dia TBB e fe say Mahama case
Ghana Medical Trust Fund
and what you din Mahama case and then Ghana Japade esisa asase ya na private companies bi omuna Azuma Gold Resources ene damanding kwa kubeko amanse side ho fe be mpatwem mining company bi wo ho asema mpatum fo ka che me ne se Ibrahim dia mintimi verify but uku komodi asmo bia be ka che wa se dia
company
omo se na nsia na obaji eti Mahama case no we enye family and friends o Mahama captures enye state capture Mahama captures Mahama na wa capture bibia na based on one small kan ye say na akufo ado be kwa retirement na oso onye ni no years kamano no sa na Mahama so umpo de we youthful still
onye hiska bebre
o hiska bebre o mada sususa ona ufofo eda so do omodo so etu hiska more than na akufo diska obehia our retirement no
because you better ensankora egu okura no hiska
so ahwo bebe fie
ana do oni minsan mkura so we hiska kugu wa woni mu wie
ahwo bebe fie eti wo de it is say no will it be fair say me speta ka say da man we krompo na ye di be ma EMP no will it be fair say me ka say wa wo de ya and I see EMP engotu mawo
according to the okan there say the man nyina wono ani dia
e je da ne dia
yes be the private jet ne
eni nyina ne dia
Mahama dia
cause mo wi dia mawo and am say wo nim say wo de jame am 2 years time ye wo ko fie wo mabiem wo mabiem na kwaku de na emra obo headlines meti ba ko so mo say e no mo de ade ne emma EMP
mo say 2024
na me ka so me ka say Ibrahim Muhammad ye wo no to form na agasa no na e kan na tade ho e kan body ne ho say da man ye ne dia ya fa man from birth
ye de wo no
me ka say be de wo no me ka say wo na ka ho say won de EMP no eyi ye ne dia e fe de say da man ye ne dia omunya kan ye itie eti question be pa ni say busa say why and what day aban bay and what day da man minds Emma EMP aba BC what's the question mu a wo be ka say
John Mahama
dabio
say
yes say okay ya 2 years wo ho say year ben and in the history of Ghana ye di da man go fields no Emma EMP ni ya 2 years no 1949 2021 2024 2026
that's like 2026
2024 if I home ben 1949 if I home ben
can be ya come home
EMP for say omo ye contractors Emma da man eti bread da man for your budget go be flow because na contract in lease ni be end no and EMP for 2023 ho no omo so interest say ene ko mo so nya mo pe e mo didi ho nkomo ade no amfa eno no ye fancy ye ja to ho 2025 year da man gold force for true crata koma o mampanyin Mahama ene Lands and Natural Resources Minister say omo list na ebe spy no omo sra ban omo extension na omo ko so ye adwuma so doesn't it make whatever decision was made 2023 moot it makes it moot and now April 2024 and 2025 President Mahama be here president only 6 months but then you understand the condo da my good minds na say one in tentem the cat and ko say there be mo ko na menu na me de be ma menu ano one penny eti afeni e de ma omo a mo say and it was given to na aden na EMP why didn't they start mining in 2024 if it was given to them
go on simple obayi ya sign boxer friend is saying
boxer there no
there be drone you know zip line what about between because it doesn't also won't pay
yes
gold for oil what about between and it's a own support to that man so bet me a trim
I say on pack bet me trim
Opa bet me gold for oil wetwem.
And that's
Ayi zipline drone you go so twetwem. Any contract be hon ma wetwem. Enti won pɛ dia.
I'm moving down pretty.
I can't betwem.
Ready as I'm going to be doing finti metwem.
And I very support.
Okay, na Zuma resources ni so e.
And also when you want more trim as na mo ku hu. Ni pese yam fa ma mo so se beje. Na mo agire force. Jo ba ma wagiri nyina jo Mahama dia o. Na Ibrahim de wono waye ne se pipe a aduru ban ya nsuo ne namu keke. Enti conveyor belt no conveyor belt we say no.
Conveyor belt.
Ana wode no enam so no ogege o manager pade ko go no kofi a wakoyusu. Nti zani mane ajapade nyina jo Mahama dia da manyo azumo jo Mahama dia enye Ibrahim.
And the plane also say ne dia.
Plane ya ne dia. No obi a afi no okoba bosia wo bank no nya 70 million hin for the koto.
Okoba be 100 million.
Na
the be business
man no the 70 million.
Now no say $70 million and the koto plane.
What be that?
Hey, adaju man asem ni.
Your Mahama na plane and odi ni dia to so keke.
If that back wo London, your friend Patrick was say mention nyam was say now it is clear that the famous Ejapade book was the NDC and John Mahama making. Yes. It is their own agenda to take possession of all our minerals.
Na papa bi wo ekrum no ono okunu bi du atemo anu ahya se me minim se mitiso me nam hoi minim se me hwene akyea so kaka ni nyina awia so wo bedi na atemo nya binka na so ono anya kwa du atentini maka wasema no pay ma me kwa homa no so quickly na me mra me bai wa hoho bi o studio ani o madi nkomo ono Collins Adoma Kumensa member of parliament for Afija Kwabre North in the Ashanti region. Ono good morning.
Good morning.
Na mpacho ho ye de
I'm here for Nyamyadom.
This is mu committee mines and energy committee no matchim amesi aye mines and kwani energy nkwansa na tie.
But I correct.
And to work with the energy
stand alone.
Okay, Mate. You
and
Akwesikunedu our mines. Okay.
That's right.
Okay, I see because Andrea as a mines 4 year be and monto so more year more press briefing. Now all there no is a task to do with Kanea Bo any friend saying titru fam go boa e koso ni implications ni ade. Pacho Andrea press conference no na mo say abanye den.
The question really is very interesting. I'm share with you for and watch for. Na nyame ni agodo. And now I'm so sending a message. Unfortunately, pressure will to me reply. So far tell me we are sure say we really show no. We didn't come over actually. It was basically some for the betterment of Ghana and anything personal.
All right.
When we say Nini agodon there, I do the odin koma Ghana home.
I will say yamwa ye from mo mfa no wonka ho. Ti wo ye from no afa ye nim say wuntimi mfa. Ye nim so wuntimi mfa nti ene ya haye.
When ya enra your press conference, I'm leading the discussions. 3 main issues and you can't watch them. The first one is the PURC4 announcements of a reduction beyond the bar 4.03 beyond the bar just about last week or last 2 weeks. And the second one had to do with when he said we had a lot of complaints concerning the abnormal nature of meters. And they also talk credits against phones meters within 1 day, 2 days now. The entire credit now to official. And then the last one had to do with one Ghana city levy abang the buy not you say a muasu say abang again sakaye kaka that particular levy so. And you say according to what they are making up the bosso on those points. The first one had to do with the PURC. Now, first of all, let me also make it clear, say, a press conference, and I want to commend the PURC. Immediately after the press conference, they reached out to us. And I like the way they reached out because they realized that we are not just an opposition, and I said, they saw the sense in what we have brought up. And they felt that it's important to engage for the betterment of Ghana. And so when I commend them, say, immediately after the press conference, they engaged us, they reached out to us. And I'm sure, say, in the coming days, or in the coming weeks, when they are going to have another announcement, we are sure, say, they bring our concerns, they factor in our concerns. But what are the issues? From 2025, first quarter, all the way to fourth quarter, almost to petrol, including January, yeah, another tariff adjustment be back, almost to petrol 28.2%. Now the question is, components being a new mobile almost so every year this kind of adjustments. There are 4 major components. Barco is the exchange rate. The next one is what they call the inflation and the generation mix. And the last one has to do with the cost of gas. It's in normal way now, almost so every year adjustments, which is tariff adjustment. These are the 4 main components. The question has always been said, what then are the components? What then are the real figures as against the projections now? Now, in the year 2025, the first quarter, beginning of the quarter, projections, some of these are projections, no any calculation. Then at the end of the quarter, they look at the actual, which should feed into the next quarter tariff adjustment. Unfortunately, from January last year to December, it was only in the third quarter, and you use the exchange rate projection and the actual course assigned the projected. From January to December, all the projections against the actual pointed to the fact that the consumers were overcharged. And offer the to say inflation, about 23.2%, not the calculation. At the end of the quarter, nearly 20%, which means that consumers have been overcharged by close to more than 2.5%. In fact, in the last quarter of 2024, we issue about 12.something%. At the end of the day, inflation is 6.2%. Exchange rate is also first quarter, second quarter, fourth quarter exchange rate now projected against the actual, there was a vast difference. So our argument has always been said, if not for anything at all, consumers must be compensated for the overchargement based on the projections now. Calculation, we anticipate at least reduce nothing less than a 10% reduction. But on announcement, so they are reducing it by just about 4.something%. And we felt a draw more attention to the fact that the figures, as against the actual one, you're more demand for in terms of the reduction, a bit black and we felt and so a cost reduce tariffs by close to about 10%. That was our argument. And as I said, we have come to us, making come off a and I feel that is the way to go. Other than a bit more or model said the Alabama politics. That's the first one. The second one had to do with the depletion. Okay, our minister set up a committee. So I'm almost 7 days.
Yes.
Now I'm investigating the abnormal depletion of credit in Mitaso. 7 days now. 7 days now, and now a press conference near a third week. Up to now, we have not any reports from the ministry as to the outcome of the investigation. PRC forces on the day minister man directive, they went ahead to have an emergency meeting with ECG. Now meters in Tese Abia with Marco shop shop. What they do is that meters be and they go through a certain process. Ghana Standards Authority, Energy Commission for and even ECG for because more what they call a laboratory a testing. So it would have been very, very strange for meters to just suddenly running abnormally. We are calling for the minister to make available the reports. Or they about the brain because of almost 7 days. What did the report say? If the report said, say, ECG has tampered with the meters, and I said the BSC, consumers have been overcharged, that it is just fair that you make it public and then you take steps to ensure that the consumer who was overcharged, is compensated fully. That's the second point you're making here. And then the third one has to do with the 1 Ghana city. So the career, and I led the debate on the floor from our side. Only 1 Ghana city buy. The catch almost said it was extremely expensive, and that it will lead to an increment of petrol prices at the pumps. The debate on the floor. It will not lead to any increase.
I join upon the cancer.
Absolutely, because at the time, crude oil on the international market was selling between $60 to $70, and the exchange rate has come to about 10 Ghana cedis. These two components are key components in determining the pump price. And from argument, you say these things were doing so well to the extent, say, if the one Ghana cedi in the background, it will not cause an increment at the pump. We then argue, say, that component of crude oil price, because you don't control it more. If you are basing an increment on levies, on conditions that you don't have control over, one actually at a point in time, anytime there's a change in those parameters, no, it will be difficult for you to justify the one Ghana cedi. Oman say, the one Ghana cedi buy no, radio, social media. Oh, yeah, the one Ghana cedi buy cry. It means you are for the 14 cities, no. It means you are for the 13 cities, no. And then 1 year cry because this debate came up in June, July. 1 year cry and at the also Israel and then Iran and Tokwabe. Today, as I speak to you, crude oil is selling at $112 and the pay check here. What that means, we say, currently diesel has moved from 12 cities a ton, 13 cities a ton to 15.66. Now this 15.66, no, in the no, not most of the BDs is no more consignment that they ever cancel. In fact, we are going to feel the effect in the next window because I feel Unkakoto new stock to come to replenish what is already being used as of now. BDs is also catching say because of the conditions prevailing now, no, premiums are the charge, no, this time around, no man charge you. So even without the charging of premiums from BDCs, no, diesel is selling at 15.66 Ghana cedis. Petrol is above 12 cedis. So it means that if the premiums were charged or added, and by now we'll be buying it more than the 15.66 and after the 12.32 now year tons is here. So if BDCs have now taken steps to reduce their profit margin so that they cushion the Ghanaian people up, they think it is just fair. So their bank will control over, which has to do with the levies and the taxes. No, a bank should immediately also take steps to reduce or take off some of those charges to bring some respite to the Ghanaian people. And we feel that one Ghana cedi, no, should be something that the government should take a critical look at, take it off to cushion the Ghanaian people. These were the three main issues we discussed here.
Honorable, that's a part. We watch it to come, but me interested in response from PRC. No more. I'm reaching out. I'm saying.
We say in Komodo we cannot. There are some discussions that we cannot make public. You understand? Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, anytime an opposition party is making some arguments, you know, a bank shouldn't take the position and say we free the position. So if you take that position all the time, it does not help good governance. It's not because of the content of the discussion really, but it is because of even the approach. So opposition for they've raised these issues with facts. Let me sit down with them, get their concerns, and maybe also tell them why.